Gemini, so here is your story. I've been sitting here with, I've got morning voice apparently. I've been sitting here with the energies and the cards and the story. Let's see what else comes out from what I've already seen. Yeah, it feels, oh, I hold stones. Oh, there it is. I hold stones a lot during my readings. Stones, crystals. Anyway, let's start with your reading. Well, I feel like I'm deflecting or I'm trying to distract myself from starting. Perhaps that holds significance to this story, and I can see why it would. I don't know why I'm delaying it. I really want to start it, but okay, here we go. Let's just do it. So the first card we have here is the Offering, and it's followed by the Tear. So it feels to me, what this is saying is it speaks to me about you. What this feels like to me is that you are a giving person. You're a very generous person, but you're realizing that you, perhaps in the past or so far, you've been a giving person to a detrimental level, that you've been giving of yourself to the point where now you realize you've overextended, and perhaps you don't feel appreciated, you feel taken advantage of, you feel taken granted for, so this is what it's telling me. This is your nature. You're very giving, and you've been giving of yourself to others, and now you're realizing that all of that giving is actually detrimental to you. You're not receiving as much as you've given out, is what it's telling me. And the first card here for the Shaman Oracle is actually telling me that, excuse me, oh, sorry. It's actually telling me that some of that, you are naturally a generous, giving, loving person. But so the extent that you've been giving out, the reason why sometimes you've been giving more than you've received is because perhaps your shadow self, you've learned along the way somewhere in your life that you had to give to receive, like love or attention or affection or validation was a give and take in an unhealthy way. So if you can hear anything, those are my cats. So the light side of you is that you're a very generous and giving person, and that's positive and very beautiful. But the shadow side of that is that sometimes you overgive of yourself because you want to feel something specific. You want to feel loved, you want to feel cared for, and that's what brings in this energy, the tear, the sadness, is because you're realizing now that that's actually made you feel depleted and sad, and it's a part of you that really is just about self-worth and self-esteem. And it very much feels to me from the next cards, I mean, this combination over here clearly feels right now like it's a broken heart, like finding this out, that you're an overgiver and you extend yourself too much and you feel it taken advantage of, has broken your heart. That's what this energy feels like to me. To find this out or to feel this way has broken your heart. And from the next two card combinations, it very much feels like you've been doing that mostly when it comes to love, to romantic relationships. Now, of course, for most of you, this is what it's saying, and it's very loud and clear here, but the lover, so this could just be you. You're a lover, the saying, I'm a lover, not a fighter, that kind of thing. It just could be very much you are the lover, and it just means that in any relationship, you give of yourself in that mindset. So even if it's friendships, you've overextended yourself because it came from a place of being a lover in you. But let's just, for this reading, keep to one storyline, and let's say that this is your pattern. This is talking about the pattern in your romantic relationships. So you've been overgiving of yourself. You have a big heart, and when it comes to relationships, you give and give and give. And now you are in a point in your life, in your journey, where you feel empty, you feel depleted, you feel emotionally drained, and so you find yourself seeking for the answer or truth or a way out, or just, this feels like depression to me. It feels very much like deep sadness, and just feeling this inner void of like, it's almost like shame. I can't believe this is me. I can't believe I've done this to myself. It's very interesting. Like, this is like, now you find yourself within yourself, by yourself, looking around like, oh, there's no one here. There's no one in my life, because everyone just takes, and I don't get this equal give and take. And when I stop giving, I find myself in this empty room. No one is here. That kind of feeling. And it makes you feel very depressed and very alone. And so the next two cards are, I'm going to leave them for later. For now, I want to hit on this next card from the Shaman Oracle. It very much seems like the story is about a completion of that, a completion of yourself, extending yourself and giving too much of yourself. It very much feels like that is the lesson here, is what's being learned. It's what's being shown to you that you need to work on to end this cycle of overgiving of yourself. And so this shadow side might very much be that sometimes you have given with expectations, and that's why you find yourself sad, because a lot of the times you find that people haven't given back to you as much as you're giving them. But if you really dig deep, it's because you had expectations. You wanted to receive something back, and that's not how love works. It's not that kind of transaction. And so you're here now wanting to, being challenged to end this cycle and learn from it. The first card from the Animal Spirit deck is the Koala Spirit. It says, Spirit has a plan. So clearly what you're going through right now, and this could be with a lover, currently in a current lover situation, Spirit has a plan to help you out through this. So trust Spirit. And how they're asking you to look at the situation or continue on, or what's the word I'm looking for? The energies that are being suggested for you to take over to get this completion. What is so hard? Perhaps, I will explain why. There's a reason why I'm having a hard time with words, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. So this is telling me two things, and this is why I was laughing. The next card here is the Parrot Spirit, and look at how similar the colors are, and the themes, and the blending into each other that these two cards have. And the Parrot Spirit is watch your words. So perhaps that's why I was having trouble getting these energies out, the story out. It's because it's a cult. You have to be careful with your words. So perhaps you are being called to use a different way to communicate that is a lot more gentle than what you've been using so far. Or maybe this has a heavy feeling of injustice, that you feel like it's not fair that I've been giving so much and getting back so little, and it feels unfair and unjust. It's saying, bring a gentle touch to that perspective and watch your words from now on. Don't lash out at people, because this was a choice. an unconscious choice, a pattern that you had to live through to learn from. So don't say, oh, other people take other. It was you who overgave of yourself, sometimes for the wrong reasons, for that expectation, for that getting back, and sometimes just because you were very loving and people took advantage of you. But either way, this is a story that you're learning from now within yourself, and it's asking you not to lash out at people. So if it is this lover, don't take it out on them for what has happened. Learn from it. Realize that you had a part to play in it. And don't take it out on them, especially not with your words, is what I mean. Is what I wanted to say. Next two cards, the ones that I wanted to talk about, is the last two cards for the archetype deck is the fault line. I keep wanting to call it faultine, and I strongly feel it's because of Ovaltine, like, you know, the chocolate powder when I was a kid. Anyway, fault line and the stone. And what this is telling me is that, one, now you feel like making this change from being overgiving because it was just so much of yourself. And this could very much be energy, you know, giving of your energy, giving of your emotions, giving of your attention. Overgiving over again, it has made you feel depleted. And now that you know this, you're coming into this mode of treading very carefully, you know, because you know at any moment, if you don't go slow into this learning experience, into this changing this pattern, you can make a wrong move, and then the cracks will get worse and worse, and then split apart, and you will fall again. It's that you're taking on this approach of you have to thread very carefully and very slowly from now on for you to be able to learn this lesson. And the stone here, for the very first time, this combination is telling me here, it feels like it's asking you to put very rigid boundaries. So if with this lover, for example, if you guys are going to work it out, if it is going to work out, you have to put very, very strong, immovable. That's the word that just came to me. Immovable. Immovable. Forgive my English. Immovable boundaries, and do it very slowly. Move on with this relationship very carefully, so you make sure that you don't compromise your boundaries again, as you have done in the past, because perhaps you didn't have none, or they weren't strong enough. You would always cave in. The next two cards here for the Shaman Oracle deck is many paths and the upper world. So here it's telling me that, you know, your spiritual team or your higher self, whatever you believe in, whatever you want to call it, is very much helping you. And you have a choice here of what to do in the situation. You have a complete choice of what to do in the situation. Choose the path that you want to go into, is basically what it's saying. I don't usually do this, especially not that often, but it just pulled my attention to the number here for this card, Many Paths, which is 34. Excuse me, 34. Really watch your words. Watch how you express yourself. Perhaps it's hard for you to communicate. I mean, I know Gemini, is it retrograde? It's communication energies right now are all helping, not helping, I don't know, but I'm not really up to date to the astrology, but I sort of have an idea what's going on. That's what I mean. So maybe look it up. Gemini right here, the sign of communication, is doing its magic right now at the moment. So it's telling me choose a path. So whether it is to end this relationship because you're just too heartbroken about it, about yourself in it, about your patterns in it, or to work with the relationship still, taking it slowly, putting in strong boundaries, whatever it is that you choose, your spiritual team, your higher self is going to support you and walk you through it the whole time through. And then lastly, I wanted to keep these two last cards for last because they very much send the big message of slowing down and waiting. And here we have the Animal Spirit deck, which is a Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait, and the Standstill, which kind of speaks for itself. So it's telling me, one, definitely meditate. Definitely go within and find inner peace, strengthen your boundaries, ground yourself, that kind of thing. And also watch and wait is, so for some of you who might be scared of, once you put up boundaries, once you stand in your power, you might be left. They'll leave you, and you maybe have a fear of abandonment, or perhaps that's why you overgave of yourself. You thought, if I don't, they'll leave or something. This will resonate with you. If you know, if that's your pattern, you'll know. It's telling you, watch and wait. Put up your boundaries. Do this work. Watch and wait what comes next. Watch and wait what happens when you actually respect yourself and put up boundaries and do what you gotta do for yourself. So this is your story. I hope it helped, and I will see you next time, Gemini.